it's me, Zombie, and I have a very special guest with me today, my boyfriend, Adam. And it is a very special and spooky time of year, so we decided to get into our spookiest costumes.
The spookiest,
which happen to be our Hufflepuff
from Harrogate Botters.
I asked you all on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram to submit your spookiest con and cosplay horror stories. The very spookiest for the spooky time of year. Anyway, you guys submitted some really awesome stories. Thank you so much for participating. The spookiest horror story is gonna be sent some very spooktacular, well, they're not so spooky, but they're really awesome. We're gonna send you some really cool prizes. Let's drink to it with our very spooky Halloween drinks. Cheers.
This is brains and poop.
Oh, not bad at all.
So you wrote all of your horror cosplay stories down in this spell book.
Yes.
This handy dandy spell book.
It certainly wouldn't be a cell phone because we're not allowed to handle with those muggle devices.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
What is a soda? Okay, you read the first one.
Okay.
Since you're a special guest.
The first one is from our buddy Benjamin Cobb.
We love Ben.
I was and still am very proud of the armor. However, strapping it didn't come into play until the night before the con, and I hadn't yet figured out a good way to do it. The moment I take a step, the thighs both break and drop down. I waddled through the con holding the thighs up because, damn it, I was going to show my stuff off. Second story from the same convention. Girlfriend at the time was wearing Carolina armor I spent months making. This was in the good old days of fiberglass helmets. You all know what that is.
Been there.
A little boy, probably age of 3, is in awe. She notices, takes her helmet off, and hands it to him. He takes it, starts to put it on head, then slam! Throws it to the ground and puts an enormous crack in it that somehow didn't show up in the photo. This was 5 minutes in and I was not a happy camper. God.
I wouldn't have been a happy camper.
Lesson learned, never give your cosplay to 3-year-olds.
The next one is from Alicia. I believe this counts as a con horror story. This year I went to RTX for the first time. Woo, RTX! Woo. With my friend who was constantly ditching me, and he was the only person I knew getting there.
Oh, bitch ass.
I know, so rude.
He's not invited next year. Hey, you're not invited. I control that.
I ended up making a ton of friends, but decided to give them one last shot of not being a total tool, and was gonna go get dinner with him the last night of the con. I ended up having a panic attack, and he just walked off and left me alone on 6th Street. Oh my God.
Definitely not invited next year.
I ended up walking to get some Thai food and then hanging out with some random people. Now, most of them were awesome people in my room. It was a growing experience for me since I spent most of the time alone. I ended up getting out of my comfort zone and talking to people. And while it was super scary to end up by myself in a city I hadn't been in before, I made the best of it, and I haven't spoken to that jerk since.
Sounds like a horror story turned into a habit.
I know, and I like those. Those are the best times.
Yeah, that's a kick-ass way to make some friends. That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome of you. I'm so glad you're able to like persevere and make some awesome friends and still have a really good time. The next one is from Michelle. Ooh, this looks like a good one.
This is my con cosplay horror story. 3 years ago, I made what I would call my first ever cosplay. I slaved away for a month working on a bubblehead nurse from Silent Hill cosplay. I paper machéed my whole face to create a workable mask so that I could see and speak and drink through.
Wow.
But still gave the illusion of not being able to do those things, because I don't think those nurses have real mouths.
That's awesome.
I was so unbelievably proud of it when I wore it to Fan Expo in Toronto. However, the horror side comes with the notion of people thinking I can't see them.
Oh, that's really weird. Oh my gosh, I've like never thought of that before.
Yeah.
When you're like wearing a helmet or a mask or something.
Why would you make that assumption? I guess we'll find out.
That is so weird.
Well, most people were super awesome in asking to take pictures with it or of me, which was so flattering. There was an unfortunate instance of someone attempting to take a photo up my dress since they thought I couldn't see enough to stop them. Luckily, I didn't have, man, this is where ass beating comes into play.
Don't do that shit around me.
It's not like a joke either.
I will eat you alive and destroy you.
Luckily I could see and did have a friend with me. Between the two of us, they were able to stop the would-be photographer. However, I was too nervous to continue wearing the outfit. I've never worn it since. Super gross and horrifying, and people think they can't get away with, or can get away with when you can't see them. Damn.
Oh my god.
That is a horror story. That's
That
fucked
is a
up.
horror story. That's really messed up.
Really sorry that happened.
You have a good con horror story about something similar to Michelle's story. Yeah. You're kind of
something similar happened where we were just standing in the sort of the front entrance to the PAX Expo Hall, and I noticed this guy was just like sheepishly holding his phone like this, and I'm a really tall guy so I can see over people, and I just saw him like do this motion where he was zooming in on something, so I looked and he was just like directly taking a picture of a girl's butt. And so like I let him take the picture just so I could yell at him, and I got in his face. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing." And
you don't want this guy in your face.
I was like, "Dude, are you taking pictures of people's asses?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Show me your fucking phone." And so he shows me his phone. Of course, there's a picture of a girl's butt on there. I make him delete it. And like in the heat of things, I probably shouldn't have let him walk away because I should probably like have gone and got the authorities. But next time I know. But I let him go like really, really scared, and he ran over to his dad and handed his dad the phone. It was like,
God.
We kind of assumed that his dad was having him take pictures for him, which is even more fucked up.
We were still like livid that that had happened, and a few minutes later he was still hanging out there, so we actually just got Boston PD, and they were really awesome, and they actually followed him and confronted him and like spooked him out, so he like didn't want to
they were outside the building.
Yeah, they followed him out, so yeah, they were really awesome about it.
Yep.
But I'm sorry that happened to you, Michelle. That really sucks. We have one from Mr. Ryan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. It seemed like a pretty daunting task. It's a good opening line. I'd attended RTX 2015, my first in cosplay. Just throwing on some things or shopping at a few Goodwills, but RTX 2016 had to be grander. I caught some kind of wonderful disease born for meeting a handful of my greatest idols. And had a great need to go above and beyond to impress. So we brainstormed. My best friend B and I kept nothing from possibility. We were attending 3 concerts after RTX with the Bare Naked Ladies, and I figured why not knock out 2 with 1 outfit, honoring the hard work of Anna Hullum and easily doing a jokey nature of the lead singer Ed Robertson, and enjoy some quirky goofiness of early RT lore by becoming Captain Dynamic. One cosplay became a couple cosplay theme. I took the role of Shaman McCormick and became Dynamic's arch nemesis, the Great Face. Now, let's set the scene. At the time, I lived in a cold, mostly cement and linoleum studio apartment graciously provided to me by the government. Oh boy. I stayed there very little and worked a full-time position at McDonald's to earn my fast cash for my yearly fun at RTX. My only furniture was a desk and a futon. Been there. I didn't even have a sewing machine, so friend B lived in a city 2 hours away by car and attending State University. It took 3 weeks to guess how many yards would be needed and plot out how the suit may go together. It took a lot of rewatching the same 4 Captain Dynamic sketches over and over until we could recite them. I may have gone entirely insane if Anna Holland back in February had not mentioned her header Captain Dynamic himself and how no one seemed to know him. On hope and prayer, I asked how to put it together, and after 2 hours without reply, I thought I had shouted into a bit of a void. But Anna drew us up a nifty diagram made my job a lot easier by describing the structure of the vest, and that really encouraged me. I borrowed an old sewing machine, and for the next 5 months, I got to work.
Jeez.
That's really awesome. That's really cool, and you can like reach out to someone who like made the costume and like, provide stuff. That's awesome.
Okay.
Passing the spellbook to you.
Oh yes, spellbook. Let me turn up the brightness.
What? Wow, must be a new edition.
This is asking you to sign up for a website to redeem code.
Spam! That was the spookiest.
Why don't you tell me your story? Yeah, let's take a break from everyone else. Let's hear yours.
So my con horror story, and I was still pretty new to the con scene, and I lived in Memphis, Tennessee, so every year we would go to this convention called MTAC, which was all the way in Nashville. Friend's mom drove us, and we all had our little costumes and had a great time, and we even won the skit contest and had such a blast. But on Sunday of the convention, it started to rain, like really, really hard. And we were like, okay. And everyone started kind of like freaking out and like, hey, Nashville's flooding and nobody can leave. So we're like, yeah, whatever, it's not that bad here at the hotel yet, you know, let's just leave the con a little bit early so we can go home. And so we started to leave. Our friend's mom picked us up and we started to try to drive through Nashville, and every imaginable exit was completely flooded over.
Shit.
Yeah, and I remember going, we were stuck in traffic in Nashville for about 6 hours. And we had one overpass that was like, you know, one of those overpasses that goes way above everything. So it was the only road in the city that wasn't completely flooded. And I remember just looking at the city, and the whole city, it was like a post-apocalyptic movie. The whole city was underwater. It was insane. And we were all in our little costumes and we were like, oh my God. And we gave up driving at about midnight that night and actually just slept in the car. And ended up
like a hotel?
No, we couldn't get to a hotel because everything was flooded.
Shit.
Yeah, so
just park on the overpass.
So for a drive that should have taken about 2.5 hours, it took us a day and a half.
Damn.
Yeah, and we were not prepared for that. So we ended up like sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, and it was like, ah. So Con, we had a good time, but like the coming back from the con, you have like post-con depression that just like was such a whammy. It's like, no, natural disaster, why?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I actually do have like a real con horror story here. It is from Mr. Patrick. Okay, this is a short one.
The short but sweet.
Yeah, short
or
but sweet.
Scary.
Ooh!
I cosplayed Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin for Halloween. Sorry, I don't know why I said it that way. For Halloween, and almost every other person I thought it was a cross.
Oh no!
And almost every other person thought I was a cross-dresser. I knew that because every person who asked me were adding the last part when they asked. That's mean.
That's really mean. You know what? If someone ever confuses your cosplay, you just gotta rock it. You gotta come up with like, you know, a few good comebacks after that happens to you a couple times, and then just make them feel dumb for being mean to you.
There's a lot of times where like, I don't know, like Grace is wearing her power armor, and they were like, oh my God, a stormtrooper. She's like, yeah, I'm looking for
Yeah! I was like, yeah, man, I'm a stormtrooper. You just gotta rock it, and then it'll be like,
I
oh!
love stormtroopers, clearly.
Me too! This is from Mr. Scott. Last year at MCM 2015, I did my second cosplay, Red Hood from Batman. I had everything for it and was really happy with how it looked. Even made the helmet for it myself. That's awesome.
Nice.
Problem is, when I got to my hotel the night before, I came to realize that I had forgot to pack deodorant. No! Not knowing the area and not wanting to be late for the con on the first day, I figured, I can go one day without it.
No.
The day of the con, it wasn't the hottest of days, but it was fairly warm. I had my mask adhered to my face, black trousers, and a thick leather jacket over a dark gray shirt. I got on the London Overground feeling pretty good when I saw the other cosplayers too. I arrived at the con at a good time, and the friends I were going to meet there were going to be there an hour or so late, so I decided just to walk the floor and I waited for them. Someone even asked for a photo of me. Problem was, being dressed as I was in a confined, crowded space, I got pretty hot pretty quick, and with no antiperspirant, things got bad fast. I was getting so sweaty I could feel it running down my body to the point where I had to go to the bathroom, strip off my top layer, and dry myself off with toilet paper. And I was soaking. My shirt had all kinds of sweat marks all over it, and I could imagine I smelled not very pleasant. After that, I sat down outside the main hall without my jacket and waited for my friends so I could cool off. Neither of them had any kind of deodorant with them. I was trapped like that the entire day. I bought a can the next morning and carried it with me the rest of the time I was there. And that was the time that I was that sweaty, smelly person at the convention, and how I always learned to bring deodorant. That's a really awesome story.
Gross.
You learned. That's important, right? Really, after reading all of these, first of all, they're all really awesome. Thanks for sending them in.
Thank you.
And second, Like, I hope someone out there sees it and knows we take a really long time planning and making these costumes and just to be nice to us. And you know, if you are that one person who says a nice compliment to somebody who worked really hard on maybe their first cosplay, that will make the world of difference. Just be nice, be cool to each other at cons, and maybe we'll have less con horror stories. We have come to our decision, but first off, we want to announce our runner-up, which was Mr. Scott. They had a nice moral at the end, which I really appreciate.
Right,
because I like learning things. And we've all kind of been there. We all get like sweaty in our costumes and stuff.
I'm getting sweaty right now.
Yeah. The scariest, spookiest con horror story is Miss Michelle with her Silent Hill nurse. First off, the smallest little thing, you have a Spider-Gwen magnet. She's so cool.
That goes with this.
And oh, I didn't realize I got 2 pairs of magnets, but these are also really cool. They are...
Listen, we think you love magnets.
We think we love magnets, and you might need some. Everybody needs some good magnets. So these are some really cute Mario magnets. They're adorable. Ooh, and a Daenerys adorable figure, and she comes with little dragon eggs, and she looks super cute. She's in like her white dress, and she looks amazing.
And she has a little chest for her dragon eggs.
Yes, it's
awesome.
So cute. It's awesome. So congratulations, Michelle, for all your cool prizes. These are going to be coming to you. I'll be reaching out to you very shortly. As fun as they are to hear, because we all have like our own little like con or cosplay horror story, just remember to be nice to each other, because everybody's at a con to have a good time, and everybody's worked really hard to get there. Maybe they had to work long hours at, you know, a job that they don't like very much, so they can do like this once a year really fun thing. And maybe this is their first ever cosplay that they ever made, and you saying something nice to them is just going to make their whole weekend. So trust me, I've been there, and we all just need to be nice to each other, because we're all here together as nerds to have a good time. So yeah, but I hope you enjoyed our spooky special con on cosplay horror stories with me and Adam. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween holiday, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you for watching, bye!